So guys, very good evening all of you. Welcome back after the break. So shall we continue with the class? Yes, sir. Okay. So recognition criteria you have recorded. Already you have written recognition criteria. Okay. So read this part, whatever is appearing here. Read this. The cost of an item of PPE should be recognized as an asset if and only if A. It is probable that FEB associated with the item will flow to the enterprise. And B. The cost of item can be measured reliably. Note 1. It may be appropriate to aggregate individually insignificant items such as molds, tools, dies, jigs, and to apply the criteria to the aggregate value. For example, there can be some items which look insignificant. For example, Pawan sir, I have purchased one chair, Pawan sir, 400 rupees, Pawan sir. Should I capitalize 400 rupees as an asset, or shall I treat it as office expenditure, some item, and shall I charge to P&L? Now, how many chairs are there like that? Pawan sir, 1000 chairs are there. Are you mad? If 1000 chairs are there, though each individual item is insignificant. Individual item is insignificant. All collectively aggregate put together, check. Pawan sir, 40,000 rupees, Pawan sir. Then it is material, no? So it is nothing but concept of materiality. Then you capitalize this value of chairs. But this accounting standard has given a beautiful discretion to the management. Dear management, do you think it is insignificant item for you? You want to charge it to P&L? Yes, sir. If it is not material, go ahead. For example, calculator. I have purchased calculator and I am checking with the definition. Is it a tangible item? Yes, sir. Is it held for use? Yes, sir. Will it give future economic benefits? Yes, sir. Whether the cost can be reliably measured? Yes, sir. So, is it an item of property, plant and equipment? Yes. Can I aggregate it with other calculators? No, sir, because I have only one calculator or I have only 5 calculators. All put together is also insignificant only. Then accounting standard says, dear Pawan, don't worry, this is not a material item. Close your eyes, book it as expenditure. In your P&L account, write down to office expenses, printing and stationery, 1000 rupees or 250 rupees. Write it off, charge it off to P&L, doesn't matter. That is point number 2. An enterprise may decide to expense an item which could otherwise have been included as PPE because the amount of the expenditure is not material. For example, calculator. That's all. So this is recognition. Then comes, subsequent expenditure. Or before that, when to apply the above criteria for recognition. So now you have learned recognition. So when to apply cost incurred. Timing of recognition. When to apply recognition criteria. So here you have incurred cost. Here you have incurred cost. Now this can be of two types. Okay, cost incurred initially, subsequent. This is called initial recognition. This is called subsequent recognition. Called initial recognition. The other one is called subsequent recognition. Okay, now read this part, the right hand side part, read that once. So this is the entity is acquiring, that means buying or constructing an item of PPE. This is initial recognition. This is initial recognition. Now here already the asset is existing in your books. That means initial recognition is already completed. Initial recognition is already completed. So after initial recognition, that means this is called subsequently. The entity incurred some cost. This cost is called subsequent cost. This cost is called subsequent cost. Incurred some cost on the asset. According to AS10, this subsequent cost is categorized into 3 areas, 3 categories. This subsequent cost is classified into 3 categories. Subsequent cost is classified into 3 categories. What are they? First one is one day-to-day servicing cost. This is like maintenance. So first type of cost is day-to-day servicing cost, like maintenance, regular maintenance. So you have a bike, daily you will clean the bike, something like that. Okay, maybe once in every 2-3 months you will give it for servicing. This is called day-to-day servicing cost. Filling the air, this kind of stuff. Second one is replacement of a major component. Major means materiality, major component. So what is this? Second one is replacement of a major component. Third one is major inspection or overhaul. Major inspection or overhaulage. Major inspection or overhaulage. Okay, this is to be charged to P&L. Charge it to P&L as an expense. There is no other way. Charge it as an expense to P&L. This too, whether the recognition criteria, of AS10 is met. So there can be two answers. Pawan sir, no. Pawan sir, yes. If the answer is no, if the recognition criteria of an asset as per AS10 is not met, then you cannot recognize asset. So you have to charge it to P&L only. For example, there is a car, you changed the tire. You may not capitalize, one tire, some repair is there, or one tire is replaced with 2,000 rupees, 3,000, 4,000. That may not be a major component. Or one windscreen or mirror is there. There is a crack on the side mirror, and you have put 1,000 rupees side mirror. You will not capitalize it now. Pawan sir, there is some problem with the engine replaced, Pawan sir. Then it is a major component. Materiality. Okay, now Chintu will get it out. Pawan sir, what is the meaning of overhaulage, major inspection? What is the meaning of overhaulage, major inspection? Now imagine you are having one textile spinning mill kind of thing, where you have a plant, big machineries are there. Power plant, nuclear power plant, thermal power plant, or hydro power plant, or this textile spinning mill, ginning mill. Big machines are there. So once in every 2-3 years, you'll call one team of experts like engineers, mechanical engineers and all. They'll come, they'll stop the machines. It might take 1 week of time, 5 days of time, 10 days of time, or 2 days of time, whatever it is. And they will thoroughly verify everything. Major inspection it is called. That will be costly also. Then what is the meaning of overhaulage? Sometimes you will take your bike to service center. Then the technician, the mechanic said, "Array, 100 times we did servicing, this won't work." Then you said, "Anna, I do not want to sell this, Anna, sentiment, Anna, or poverty, Anna, no money, Anna. I have to continue this only, Anna." Then he said one thing, "Okay, chalo, one thing I'll do." In normal roadside language, they call it over oiling, but actually there is nothing called over oiling, it is overhaulage. So they'll say, "We'll do overhaulage." Now, what is overhaulage? They take the bike, they knock it down to components. They'll remove all the components till nut and bolt. You cannot even recognize that it is your bike. Tires are separated, screws are separated, handle is separated, seat is separated. So the body, various components are separated. So all of them are a bundle of pieces. Now they will, clean every item with oil. Some oils will be there. With that oils, they'll clean everything, and then they assemble it again. Now again, the machine might work as good as a new machine. This is called overhaulage. It is not obviously a small one. That is a major one. So in case of a major component or major overhaulage or major inspection expenses, if it satisfies AS10 criteria, these expenses are to be capitalized. That means are to be added. That means are to be added to the value of asset. These are to be added to the value of asset. Now, Pawan sir, what is the procedure? Very interesting procedure is there. Very interesting procedure is there. Step 1. Step 1. Gross or the current carrying amount. The present carrying amount of asset. XX is A. B. B is step 2. Step 2. Recognize the cost of new component or cost of new inspection cost. Add A plus B. Step 3. C. De-recognize. This is beauty. De-recognize the unamortized cost of old component or inspection. This is subtract. So step 4. D. Carrying amount of asset after replacement of component. After replacement of component. How much this is? A plus B minus C. Very interesting accounting it is. So are you done? Once you are done, let me know, we'll continue. Hello, are you done? Okay. So Pawan sir, what is this? Now, there is something called AS10. According to AS10, there is something called componentization. What is the meaning of this componentization? Many students do not know this. Even many, I'm not criticizing anyone, many faculty also do not teach this. Many companies in real life also they are not following this. But in accounting standard it is there. This is called componentization. That means when you buy an asset, okay, A Limited bought an asset. A Limited bought an asset. Say this is an aircraft for rupees 100 crores. For rupees 100 crores. The asset has two major components. One is engine. Its life is 10 years. Its cost is 80 crores. Two body, including interiors and all. Body and interiors. Body, interiors, exteriors. Okay. So its life is 5 years. This is 20 crores. So total it is 100 crores. Now you tell me what is the journal entry I should pass? Should I pass a journal entry? Engine account debit 80 crores, body of aircraft account debit 20 crores, to bank account 100 crores. Should I pass that? Or should I pass a journal entry aircraft account debit to bank 100 crores? So should I write engine account debit 80, body account debit 20, to bank 100? Or should I write only aircraft account, which is PPE, debit 100 to bank? So guys, you tell me, journal entry A is right or journal entry B is right? What do you think? Let me know, A is right or B is right. Let me see how much you understand. Waiting for. Hello, response though. If your answer is wrong, it is still fine, okay, but you should respond. So one student is saying B, second student is saying B, again B. Super, correct answer. B is correct answer. Then Pawan sir, what is the meaning of componentization? B is correct answer, A is wrong answer. But after passing journal entry B in your books, depreciation should be provided based on this data. So depreciation schedule. In this you write serial number, particulars, then opening WDV, life, depreciation, closing WDV. Serial number 1, 2. What is 1? Engine. What is 2? Body. What is the cost of engine? 80 crores. What is the cost of body? 20 crores. So total how much? 100 crores. So no example is given in ICI material about this, but trust me, straight examination question will come. Sir, how can you say that, sir? See, I have been teaching final for 10 years, okay? Many questions asked in CA intermediate exams are from final old simple problems whatever are there in final books, they'll ask in CA intermediate. After that they will be incorporated in CA intermediate books. In the latest attempt, provisions accounting standard 29 example is also given like that. Because I teach CA final, I know. The moment I read CA intermediate question paper, I'm like, shit, this is an example given in, you know, Ind AS 37. That means your accounting standard 29 is Ind AS 37 now. So that Ind AS 37 example they have given in CA intermediate. See how killing it is. But they are simple concepts only. That is the reason I cover so many concepts, though they are not there in ICAI study material. 99% of students will enjoy this. Those who want to learn, Pawan sir is teaching so many concepts to us. 1-2 students will ask, sir, this is not there in our ICAI material. Why you are teaching, sir? Then I tell them, rubber manda, from your textbook only, questions need not appear in ICAI exam. No, you should be prepared for other concepts also. So, what is the life? Engine life is 10 years, 5 years. So, can you help me with calculation of depreciation? Tell me what is depreciation of engine? Tell me fast, what is depreciation on engine per annum? Is it 8 crores? What is depreciation on body? Is it 4 crores? Is it 12 crores? Closing, can I say 72? Closing, can I say 16? Put together, can I say 88? Okay, now imagine, because of some reason, after year 1, the company replaced body. After year 1, company replaced body. So new component costed rupees 22 crores. After replacement, what is the carrying amount of aircraft in the books? This is the question. There is some damage to the body, the company had to replace it. This is called replacement of major component. After year 1, the company replaced the body. The new component costed rupees 22 crores. After replacement, what is the carrying amount of aircraft? What is the carrying amount of aircraft? Follow. So A present carrying amount before replacement 88. B cost of new component is equal to 22. But when you are replacing new component, old component you will remove and you will sell, no, or you will dispose it off, no. C unamortized cost of, that means written down value of old component which is replaced. Can I say it is 16? Amortized part is 4 crores already depreciated. Remaining undepreciated or unamortized part is 16. That is equal to, you will reduce 16. So 88 plus 22 minus 16. 88 plus 22 minus 16. That comes to 94. This is the carrying amount of the asset after replacement of component. This is the carrying amount of the asset, the PPE, after replacement of major component. So the inspection charge is also same. You felt like I have spent 20 crore rupees for inspection. After 4 years, I'll do next inspection. That means that inspection 20 crores you have spent, no, its life is 4 years. After 2.5 years, if you are doing another inspection, that remaining 1.5 year inspection cost is unamortized cost. That you will derecognize. It is a loss. So guys, you understand this? All of you, let me know whether you understand this concept. Again, I am telling you, the numeric problems are not there in ICAI material, but this kind of questions will appear in your exam. This is where students fail. Out of this subject, lecturer will teach this much. Student will read this much. He will understand this much. And he will write this much. Katham. You expect 91 marks in exam. Just a twist, 19 marks will come. You have expected 91 and in the exam it will become 19. So we do in the reverse. If examination level is this, we read up to this, then obviously you'll pass now. So guys, let me know, do you understand this? Have you copied? If you are done, in the chat box please type done so that I'll move further. Hello, are you done? Have you copied? Did you understand? Done. Very good. Now I have a doubt. Pawan sir, what if, this is a very interesting and important calculation, okay? Pawan sir, what if the unemortized, the unemortized cost of old component is not available in books of account, in books of company? Pawan sir, we purchased this asset 20 years back, Pawan sir. Today we replaced one major component, Pawan sir. 20 years back, componentization accounting is not there in India, Pawan sir. How can you expect me to do this kind of depreciation schedule those days, Pawan sir? As per our old accounting standard 10, which is not revised, you did not do this. You have simply did aircraft cost minus salvage value divided by useful life. You did not do componentization accounting. You did not cut the component. Pawan sir, in the books, the cost of old component is not available. What will you do now, Pawan sir? What will you do? Cost of lorry is equal to 1 lakh. Component replaced is equal to 45,000. Old component value not available in books. And now you tell me, what is the carrying amount of the asset after replacement? So can I say carrying amount of asset after replacement is equal to 1 lakh plus 45,000 minus and so can I put 0 here? Can I put 0 here? Hello, tell me, can I put 0 here? ICI asked, are you kidding? How can it be 0 rate? It is not 0, it is X. But Pawan sir, how can I calculate that X, Pawan sir? Super duper accounting, I'm telling you. Consider the cost of new item as the basis for calculation of cost of old item. So cost of new item is equal to 45,000. Old item bought 6 years ago. Interest rate applicable to the industry. Fair market, fair value we can calculate. So therefore cost of old item is equal to, you'll do 45,000 divided by 1 plus 0.08 whole power 6. Future value divided by 1 plus interest whole power n. So it is like present value is equal to future value divided by 1 plus r whole power n formula. isn't it? So when you calculate it like this, 45,000 divided by 1.08 is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'll get that is 28,358. Oh my god, Pawan sir, what is this accounting, Pawan sir? Welcome to accounting standard 10. Welcome to cap classes. Now one student will ask, but Pawan sir, this kind of questions I see I will not give you are torturing us, Pawan sir. Hello, hold on. I'll show you in ICI study material this problem I'll show you. In ICI study material this problem is there. Replacement of old component. Looking for search button. Where is search? Replacement of old component is not there. Dun, 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 dun. Ah, it is there. Replacement of old component. Hello, Kulja Sim Sim. Still computer is working on it. Have to wait. Working on. I am better than you. What are you working this much? This is the one. So this is revaluation, this is measurement, this is PPE purchased, blah blah blah. Non-monetary, monetary items, measurement of cost, cost of a self-constructed asset, decommissioning cost. Is there in ICI study material also? This one. See question number 2, how dangerous this question is. See here they have given accounting treatment, okay? Treatment of subsequent cost. This is what we are discussing, okay? So if you look at the chart I have prepared, this is the one. So what did I say? If it is day-to-day servicing cost, charge it to P&L. If it is replacement of major component or major inspection or overhaulage, then A, take the carrying amount from the books. B, add the cost of new component. C, subtract the unamortized part of old component. Correct? Now look here. Cost of day-to-day servicing are primarily the cost of labor and consumables and may include cost of small parts. So it is repairs and maintenance. So what to do? It should be charged to P&L account. This I told you. No asset should be recognized. It should be charged to P&L. Now, replacement of parts. Replacement of parts. So they have given these examples. Aircraft interiors. Interiors of a building. Conveyor belt system. Furnace of a machine. So they have given some examples. Now, look here. What is accounting treatment? An enterprise recognizes in the carrying amount of an item of PPE the cost of replacing part of such an item when the cost incurred meets the recognition criteria. This is what exactly I told you. Whether it met the recognition criteria, yes sir, then it can be capitalized. That is what I told. Now look here. Note the carrying amount of those parts that are replaced. Those parts that are replaced, that means old part. Replacing part means new part. Replacing part means new part. Replaced part means old part. Is derecognized. Oh my god. Derecognition means credit. Recognize the asset means debit. Derecognize the asset means credit. So they said it should be derecognized. Okay, but what happens if the cost of previous component or previous inspection was not identified in the transaction? So what they said, derecognition of carrying amount occurs regardless of whether the cost of the previous inspection or part was identified in the transaction in which the item was acquired or constructed. What will be your answer in the above question? If it is not practicable, if it is not practical, we'll leave it. But what is the answer of this? No student understand. Sir, in the book's old component cost is not identified. Still they are saying derecognize. How? Sir, if I know that it is 10 rupees, I will reverse 10 rupees. Sir, I don't know 10 rupees. In the solution they said still derecognize only. How? This is the answer, my dear friend. This is the answer. And I'm telling you, this will be a bouncer if they ask in the question. And ICI may say that concept is already there in the book. But illustration is not given. Sir, from where you have taken this illustration? CA final. As it is, this is CA final illustration. This is the advantage because we teach CA final also. We know in CA final, after this principle, accounting principle, they have given the example. In CA inter, they have not given. Guys, you understand this? Copy this 28358. Once you are done copying, then we'll go further. So let me know that you are done. Very good. So recognition is over. Now we'll go to the next rule, next principle, that is measurement. Measurement. So this is measurement refers to what is the cost of the item that is to be recognized as an asset. One, purchase cost. So you bought a machine. So can I capitalize this? Guys, tell me yes or no. I bought an asset, so there is a purchase cost. Can I capitalize purchase cost? I bought a machine with 50 lakhs. Can I capitalize it? I bought a land with 1 crore. Can I capitalize it? Tell me, you need to participate extensively. If you are not giving the answers, I cannot move further. The answer is yes. Very good. Two. Stamp duty paid. or registration charges paid? I bought the car, no, so I need to register it with RTO authorities. I bought land, no, I need to go to sub-registrar office and I need to register it in my name. Can it be capitalized? Yes. 3. If it is an asset, installation charges. Can I capitalize installation charges? Hello, can I capitalize installation charges? Yes. Can I charge transportation? Can I capitalize transportation? Can I capitalize installation? Yes. Can I charge capital transportation? The answer is yes. Yes. Some student is saying no. Yes. Transportation charges can be capitalized. You bought an asset 50 lakhs from the factory of the supplier. It came to your factory. You have paid, say for example, 1 lakh rupees. It can be capitalized. 5. Transit insurance. Yes. If it is imported machinery, imported duty. Yes. Trial run cost. Yes. Yes. Discounts given. Can I subtract it from the asset? Discounts given? Yes. Or they call it rebate. Government grant is given. Can I subtract? Yes. So this is minus minus. All these are plus. Discounts and government grants, you subtract it because they are credit items now. Then GST paid. AS2, AS10, AS26. Investment property, if you are considering AS13, in all these standards, principles are same principles. If you pay any taxes or duties, they are of two types. Non-returnable. That means input credit not available. Capitalize. Returnable. That means input credit available. Don't capitalize. Don't capitalize. 11. Pavan sir, annual maintenance contract, AMC. What is AMC? Annual maintenance contract. For example, I have a car. So I have paid to, Maruti showroom some 15,000 rupees for 3 years maintenance of car. Can I include that in cost of car? No. It is to be charged to P&L. You cannot capitalize annual maintenance contracts. Never. 12. Discount given for prompt payment or prepayment For example, the supplier has given you 3 months. Credit. Okay, you purchased asset, supplier said, beta, pay in 3 months, no problem. Then supplier one day called you, asked, Pavan sir, you bought 1 crore rupees worth asset from me. Yes. You did not pay money. Yes. You need to pay na. Yes. When will you pay? After 3 months. Then I said, sir, in need of money, sir. Do one thing, sir. I'll give you 2 lakh rupees discount. Pay 98 lakhs, please, sir. I said, this is a good offer. I am saving 2 lakhs. Then I said, 98 lakhs pay karo. So this 2 lakhs is called discount given for prompt payment or prepayment. This should not be considered in calculating value of the asset. This should be taken as other income in P&L. This cannot be taken to the cost of the asset. You cannot subtract it from the cost of the asset. This should be taken as other income in P&L. You understand? See how many. Pawan sir, you have given different situations, but do we have any accounting principle or any rule, thumb rule, which says this can be capitalized, this can be capitalized, this cannot be capitalized? Yes. So at the time of recognition, initial recognition, at the time of initial recognition, cost of the asset include 3 items, does not include 4 items. If you remember this chart, you can do problems, you can play football with problems. One student is asking, sir, I have one doubt, sir. How can we take transport cost since it is an expense? All are expenses only, ma. But there are capital expenditure, no? See, why are you spending transportation cost? To bring the asset to its present location and condition, to be fit for the management to use it for the intended purpose. So the accounting standard says any freight, carriage, transportation expenses incurred to bring the asset to the present location and condition is to be capitalized. This you might have studied in your 10th class, 11th class, 12th class also. Transportation on assets is to be capitalized. Simple. You bought a TV, 1 lakh rupees TV, you bought in, Bismi Electronics, or you bought in Bajaj Electronics. How much it is? 1 lakh. You paid auto rickshaw fellow 1000 rupees. To bring that TV to your house, you paid 1000 rupees. You have to write in your books of account, television account debit to cash 1 lakh 1000. Television account debit to cash. Transportation is to be capitalized. Because that expenditure is required to bring the asset to its present location and condition for usage, no? So till that point of time, any expenditure you can capitalize. Transit insurance, loading charges, unloading charges, all these things can be included. So Subeda, you understand it, ma? Subeda, you asked it out, I have explained. Do you understand it now? Very good. So write down, cost include, cost does not include. This one. 1. Purchase price. Left side one. Cost include 1. Purchase price. 2. Directly attributable cost. 2. Directly attributable cost. 3. Put a star mark. Very important. Very important. Decommissioning, comma, restoration, comma, similar liabilities. Decommissioning, comma, restoration and similar liabilities. Decommissioning, comma, restoration and similar liabilities. I'll give you examples for this little later. Okay, next. Come to the other side. Excludes 1. Cost of opening a new facility. See, these are the 4 points. This is point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, point number 4. I told you 4 points now. So write these 4 points yourself. Write this 4 points yourself. My water over, I'll get water and come. So meanwhile, you keep writing these 4 points. So are you done? So read this 3 points and that 4 points once. Okay. Now, what is this decommissioning and restoration liability? What is this decommissioning or restoration liability? Say for example, X Limited took one property from Mr. A on rent. Say this is office building. So X Limited has taken this office building from Mr. A for 5 years lease or 10 years lease. X Limited told Mr. A, sir, we want 20 bathrooms, sir, because it is a college, sir, so many people will be there, or it is a bank, sir, or it is a commercial complex, sir, we want these many bathrooms. A said, okay, if you want, you construct, I will not construct. Then X said, I want here director cabin, here manager cabin, here I want pantry, here this kind of cubicles should be there, here for 200 people like call center, partitions should come, here false ceiling should come, here this should come. So X Limited said, sir, we want all these things, sir. Mr. A said, whatever you want to do it. Whatever you want to do it. Don't ask me, I will not do it. And A has put one condition. Whatever you are constructing inside the walls, you are saying here I want one wall, here I want one bathroom, you do whatever you want. But remember, when you are vacating my premises, you should demolish all the things and you should give like how I am giving this property to you. In the shape in which I am giving it to you, I want exactly the same shape. If you do not do it like that, from the rental deposit you are giving it to me, no, I'll cut money. So X Limited acquired a property, or taken property on a long-term lease, and for interiors they have spent 5 crores. Can this be capitalized? The answer is yes. If it meets the recognition criteria of the standard, you can capitalize it. Interiors which has life of 5 years, 10 years can definitely be capitalized. Now Pawan sir, after 5 years I have to spend 1 crore rupees to demolish these structures. This beautiful standard says this 1 crore also should be capitalized. Now student will get a doubt, sir, that is the liability, outflow of economic resources, present obligation. Today I have obligation to demolish after 5 years. So that is a liability in a Pawan sir. How can you capitalize it as an asset? That is the beauty of this accounting standard. It says create a provision for liability. What is decommissioning liability? Create a provision for decommissioning liability. Okay. Normally, how to create a provision? A provision is P&L account debit to provision. This is how we create provision. 1 crore, 1 crore. But this is a normal provision which is expensed to P&L. Don't do this. In our accounting standard 10, you need to write property, plant and equipment account debit 1 crore to provision for decommissioning liability 1 crore. This is a situation where provision is capitalized. Oh my God. Normally, provision should be expense to P&L. This is a very rare situation where a provision is capitalized to form part of asset. Beautiful accounting now. So guys, tell me one thing. Do you know these principles beforehand? Like, before the commencement of this class or before I explained you, have you gone through these kind of items? You studied this before? Yes or no? So tell me yes or no fast. Before the class, have you studied decommissioning liabilities and all? No. No, no. Okay, very good. So I'm happy that you are learning new concepts. This is called decommissioning. And another example is Pi Limited has taken from, say, government of Kerala. They have taken one mine. So one land of 100 acres. They have taken on a, say, lease to explore mineral. But imagine there is a land. When you keep on digging inside, it will become a hole. It will become a pit, big pit of 100 acres. How big pit it will be? Dangerous, no? Not fit for any living also. So on the date when it is giving, the government of Karnataka or government of Kerala, they have put one condition in mining agreement. Condition: after extracting the mineral, you should fill the pit, the land. You should fill the seabed. In case of petroleum extraction, you should fill this with some material. It could be some sand, some mud, or some construction waste. It should be some brick waste. Put something here, I don't mind. Level the land to a situation where it is fit for human living. At least you give me big hole, what will government do with that? Fill it. This is called land restoration cost, seabed restoration cost. So today I paid 100 crore rupees to Karnataka state government or Kerala state government, whatever it is. 100 crores I have paid, and I know that the day when my leasing is over, I am giving land back to the government and saying, sir, thank you. I have sucked all your mineral. Congratulations to you. Now I am giving that land to you with a hole. Government says, hello, wait, at least fill the hole and give. This is called site restoration, land restoration, sea restoration, ocean restoration. Seabed restoration also will be there. Seabed restoration cost, land restoration cost. Same thing. You know that you have to incur 10 crore rupees of cost. You need to capitalize it. That mineral asset account debit 100 crores. Decommissioning cost account debit 10 crores. To bank 110 crores. If you have not paid, create a liability. Provision for decommissioning. That's all. This is called decommissioning. And this is one, purchase cost. Second one is directly attributable expenses like stamp duty, registration cost, transportation, etc., etc. Third one is decommissioning, restoration liability. So you understand inclusions 1, 2, 3. Can we go to exclusions 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, now Pavan sir, I have imported a new machine from Norway. Cost 100 crores. This new machine is not there in India. For the first time we are importing it. So 10 engineers, experts from Norway came to India to train. For giving training, to train. Train is not kuchuk train. Training. To train the employees of X Limited on how to operate asset. So without this training, X Limited cannot use the asset. Without this, X Limited cannot use the asset. So this training cost is 10 crores. Training cost is 10 crores. Now the question is, again I am telling you, without this training, X Limited cannot use the asset. Without this training, X Limited cannot use the asset. So now you tell me whether this 10 crores can be capitalized. You tell me whether this 10 crores can be capitalized. Hello, answer fast. Yes or no? Whether this 10 crores can be capitalized or no. So Roshan is saying yes, Janani is saying yes, Subeda is saying yes. One more student is saying yes. One more. Hello. Hold on. No. Come on. I'll give you one simple example, okay? Roshan, imagine you bought a car. How much is car? 10 lakhs. You don't know driving. You joined a driving school. This driving school is taking 20,000 for teaching you how to drive. For training you on how to drive, they have charged 20,000. You said, okay, without this you cannot drive, no? So can I capitalize this 20,000? So guys, you tell me, can I capitalize this 20,000 now? No, idiots. If this is no, this is also no only, na? I changed the example, but the substance of example is same. So here you don't know driving expenses. You know, driving school you are joining. There you don't know how to operate a machine. So you are learning it. It has no connection with acquisition of asset. It is not directly attributable for acquisition of asset. Whether it is 10 rupees or 10 crore, accounting principle remains same. You cannot say, sir, big amount, sir, I'll capitalize. No, who said? Research cost can be 1 lakh crores. 1 lakh crores. But because it is research cost, charge it to P&L. You cannot say big amount, I'll capitalize. No. Who said big amount capitalize, small amount P&L? So you understand? So this cannot be capitalized. Now, you started, one new plant, new factory. You have started a new factory. So for your happiness, you called all the employees, neighbors, then your well-wishers, family, friends, and you have done one opening ceremony, grape pravesham kind of thing, housewarming, and you ordered food from Barbecue Nation, and lavish buffet dinner you have given 10 lakh rupees. So can this opening expenses be capitalized? Facility opening expenses, cost of doing business in a new locality, employee relocation expenses. Can these kind of expenses be capitalized? The answer is no. They are prohibited. Administration expenses. No, you cannot capitalize. So look here, cost of opening a new facility, for example, inauguration cost. Cost of introducing a new product or service like advertisement, promotional expenses, product launch expenses, product development expenses. Cost of conducting business in a new location or with new class of customers, including cost of staff training, new staff you have taken, staff training, administration and general overheads. These costs can never be capitalized, can never, no. That is the reason, close your eyes. Facial recognition on the day measurement is at cost. Cost includes 1, 2, 3. Cost doesn't include 1, 2, 3, 4. Cost includes 1, 2, 3. Purchase price, directly attributable cost, decommissioning expenses, restoration expenses, or any other similar liabilities. These three are to be included. Add. What are to be excluded? Minus. Cost of opening a new facility, inauguration expenses, cost of introducing a new product, including promotional expenses, cost of conducting business in a new location, including staff training, administration and general overheads, should never be part of an asset. That's all. Hello, do you understand? Understand? Today's class is over. So if you have any doubts, ask me. If you do not have doubts, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow. So if you're attending costing class, we'll see you morning 6:30. If you're attending only accounts, evening 6 o'clock. Okay. So any doubts before we log off?